Hey folks, welcome to today's practice. Today I invite you to join in with some very gentle somatic twists. This can help to build up a little bit more fluidity and mobility in your upper body, and it's a really soothing practice. We don't need a lot of effort with this one, and we don't want to force the movement either. You can do this practice either sitting on a chair, or I do invite you to come down to the ground, sit up on a pillow, and have your legs in like a half twist or like a stag leg situation, which I will guide you through. Let's get started. So before we get started with the somatic twist, let's take a moment just to arrive in our space, whether that is sitting on the chair or sitting on the floor, so that you can come into your body. You might close your eyes or soften your gaze. Start to tune into your breath. And become aware of your upper body. Become aware of your torso. So from the waist upwards. And scan from the waist. Notice your spine, the muscles in your upper back. Notice your stomach, your ribs, your chest. How are they feeling today? How is your neck feeling today? We don't need to make judgments, and there is no right or wrong. But finding out and listening in to how your body feels before you do a practice, and then checking in at the end of the practice, will help you to notice any changes, any shifts, anything that you need to send a little bit of love, attention and compassion to. On a regular basis, maybe. So I notice that my left side feels a little bit more tense, my left shoulder blade. What can you sense today? Start to just blink the eyes open if you've had them closed, and let's get into our position. If you are on the chair, plant your feet to the floor, and you might want to sit a little bit closer to the edge of the chair, just so that you've got a little bit more movement in your legs, and so that you can turn your body as well in your twists. If you are on the floor, have your knees bent, and then float both of your knees down to the right hand side, and we can bring this left leg in a little closer, heel towards the bum. We can bring the right leg in a little closer, and you might want a bit of support, so you can see I'm sitting up on a pillow and a blanket, and you could have a blanket underneath the right leg as well, and maybe underneath this knee. So just prop yourself up. You can sit up a little bit higher to take any pressure out of the knees, and just take a moment to notice, does this feel sustainable? Is there any are there any areas that feel really painful? And do I need to make any adjustments to support my body today? If this position feels really uncomfortable, sit yourself up on a chair. If you are down on the ground, we're going to bring the right hand down by the side of us for support. So it's almost just outside of this right leg. And then with the left hand, we're going to draw the arm back, create a half cactus. And we can look back over that left shoulder. Make sure that you're breathing, so start to tune into your breath now. In through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth, whatever you need. Invite your inhales to become a little bit deeper. And then let's start to reach that left arm, scoop it in front of you, and start to reach it behind and across that right shoulder. So I'm going a little bit higher just because I've got the chair here. But you can see that this hip, this left hip, is lifting. And then as I draw the arm back, I'm looking behind me and this hip relaxes back down. So I'm not trying to force this hip down, I'm letting it move, bringing a little bit more mobility into the hips as well. And then reaching, and I can plant this hand down. I'm going to take it to the side just so that you can see the movement. I might have my hand up on a block here for a little bit more support. And I draw it back, and then I reach behind and across, and I'm coming into a twist, sensing the twist just underneath the rib cage, softening, relaxing into this left hip, and I'm reaching without forcing, drawing all the way back and looking over the shoulder. If you're sitting up on the chair, it will feel slightly different. We can draw that arm back, we look over, and then we guide that arm, and I'm holding onto the chair for support. You could even have something here like a table for a little bit more support, or hold the back of the chair as you take that arm across. And you can see that I'm kind of sliding a little bit so that I can reach over. I'm not stopping any of this natural movement from happening, and then I can slide it all the way back to center. And keeping this movement going just on the one side, settling into your rhythm, your breath. If it gets a bit too much to have the arm up, you could bring the hand to the opposite shoulder, and we gently draw around with the, we can, instead of reaching with the arm, we can move with the shoulder. I just feel like you can get a little bit more movement and opening up across the chest as well when you use the arm. But do what you need to do and really focus in on the sensations in your body, and notice if you are forcing or over efforting, if you're squeezing any unnecessary areas. And you can have your eyes open or closed. If your eyes are open, you can look, the first time you do the movement, you can look over the shoulder and you can actually see, what am I staring at? What can I see that's in front of me? Maybe there's a spot on the wall, maybe there's a piece of furniture behind you, and you notice that area. And then the more you do the movement as you go through, notice if you start to turn a little bit more, notice if your gaze point changes. And it might do, or it might not. So, we can see, am I loosening up a little bit, or am I feeling a little bit stiff today? We don't need to make judgments about what is. we can just know that, you know, each little bit of movement is helping to build up a bit more fluidity and mobility, and depending on how much movement you have, you know, it will vary. So take a few more on that side. I recommend doing about 10 on each side. So, you know, if you're doing this without the video, then count 10 on each side, and or you can do a little bit more than that if you want, 15 to 20. Let's take it over to the other side. If you're on the floor, slowly bringing your legs back to center, and you might want to pause in the middle. You can bring your hands behind you, you can lean back, you can swish your knees, you can stretch your legs out as well, just to ease off into the joints. And then we can float the knees down to the left side and take a moment to set yourself up. So we bring the heels a little closer in. Maybe there's support under the legs, under the knees. And we bring the left hand just outside that left thigh. And we cactus the right arm and we draw it back, and we're already coming into a little bit of a twist here. And then we take the arm across, letting that right hip lift as we reach across and behind us. Just noticing, where do we go from here? What are we looking at here? What can we see? Take a few breaths. And then drawing that shoulder back. Opening up, maybe looking at the hand. So building up more movement into the neck. And then taking it across once again, and we keep going. So really soothing movement. We can settle into the rhythm, our breath. We don't need to rush the movement. If your arm or shoulder gets tired at any point, you bring the hand to the opposite shoulder. And you guide with the right shoulder, or even with the elbow, easing in and out of this twist. Noticing how your spine feels. Are there any areas that feel a little bit tight, a little bit sticky? Maybe focusing your attention into those spaces as you go, and just seeing, is there anything I could do here to help ease that out? Am I tensing my breath? Can I relax into the movement a little bit more? Do I need to stop at any point? You can even move this back hand around, so I've just brought it a little bit further behind me because I feel like I could go a little bit further with my movements. And you can explore moving that hand. Okay, let's come back to center. Bring your knees back to center if you were sat on the floor. Again, if you want to stretch the legs out, or give your knees a gentle swish from side to side, then do that. And let's pause for a few breaths and to check in. You can cross your legs, you know, soles of feet together, knees out wide, or keep your feet flat to the floor, eyes open or closed. And how does your body feel now? How does your upper body feel? send some love and appreciation to yourself, to your body. Thank yourself for taking this time to move and practice and connect. When you're ready, coming back into the room, blinking your eyes open, coming back into your body, bringing a little bit of movement in, stretching. I hope you found this practice useful today. Tune in whenever you need a little bit of movement in the upper body. If you're ever feeling a bit stiff, a bit rigid, do this on the floor, on the chair. You can do it sitting on the edge of your bed in the morning or before you go to bed. And take it slow. There's no rush. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.